AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM. Good morning. I'm Brian Gallagher. This is Community Connection. It's brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota Honda, Nebraska's only combined Toyota Honda dealership. Thursdays, we turn our focus to education. Today, on behalf of Grand Island Public Schools Superintendent Matt Fisher. Didn't we just get a chance to chat yesterday?
It hasn't been very long since I saw you.
We were part of the coverage group yesterday for the discussion that came from Grand Island Public Schools, and particularly the academy structure at Grand Island Senior High. There are some shifts coming. Let's just talk briefly about that. I guess in the condensed version, it's some shifts. There's some condensing, but yet there's still pathways out there. The plan itself is there, but it was part of the program initially to take a look after 5 years and see how you're doing.
Yeah, I think the original intent when the academy structure went into place was that at the 5-year point they were going to take a deep dive and look at what was working. Were there academies that needed to make some shifts in order to serve the needs of the students and the community, and so we're at that point right now with the 5 years, and then the ongoing discussion that we've had around our need to reduce some of our spending in coming years ties right in with that. So as the the high school administration really dug into where are our academies and what pathways are best serving our students, they really looked at that from an efficiency standpoint as well as a serving the needs standpoint, and so part of what came out of that process was a streamlining of the academies, shifting from 6 academies to 5 academies is part of that move, and then taking the number of pathways from 20 down to 11 is really going to just help to streamline choices for students and really still be able to offer all the opportunities, but some of those opportunities are going to become electives rather than pathways. And I think overall, as the high school administration dug into it, I think they really did a good job of identifying what changes needed to be made.
Well, that's all part of the process, and these will begin now next school year, is that correct?
Those would go into effect for next school year.
Okay.
And so obviously, we recognize that that's going to impact students in different ways depending on where they are in their high school career. Our juniors that will be seniors next year are going to have the opportunity to complete the pathway that they're in. They're going to be able to do a capstone course that would finish up the pathway that they're in. Our sophomores that are going to be juniors are going to have the opportunity, if they're in one of the pathways that we're no longer going to be offering, to choose a new pathway, and they're going to be given priority in terms of their choices there. And then, our sophomores that are going to be juniors are just in the process of choosing a pathway right now, so they'll have those new pathways to choose from. And then the freshmen coming in obviously are going to just know the new pathway structure.
So it's a part of taking a look at something that's relatively new, but they're willing to take that look from 50,000 feet, see what it looks like, and you get input, too, from different groups that are providing some of the structure and recommendations to make sure that these programs do fit both sides, both for students and for employers looking down the road.
Absolutely. We've got boards for each of those academies, and we've sought input from them. We've had conversations with different business entities, and really it's, there were some hard decisions that had to be made, and I applaud our high school administrators for really digging into this and deciding, okay, here's a pathway that maybe isn't serving a whole lot of students, and maybe the need within the community has shifted a little bit, and so how can we work that pathway into one of our other pathways and still create opportunities for students, but not necessarily have them in a defined pathway.
Matt Fisher, Superintendent of Schools for Grand Island Public. There will be other things that will be discussed during the board meeting tonight. In fact, I understand you have a number of presentations tonight.
We do have several presentations. Obviously, that one on budget and beyond just the academy structure, we're going to talk about other budget reduction pieces. That'll be a part of that discussion. We're going to also have a presentation from our Families in Transition Coordinator. Is going to talk about some of the services that we're providing for families that are really new to the country in most cases. We're going to talk a little bit about some of our mental health supports that we have in place. And then we're going to have a presentation on the state testing results from last spring. And excited about that one because we've got a lot of really good growth that we're going to talk about tonight. You know, we had 6 of our schools who actually moved up a rating within the state structure, so that's exciting to see that growth within our schools, and actually every school had more students who were proficient in that state testing, so that's exciting news for us to report to the board tonight.
You'll also be working on calendar work.
We are. The calendar committee has been meeting for the last month or so, and they've got a calendar for next year pulled together, and it's very similar to the calendar that we operated off of this year. So that's going to be in front of the board tonight, first as information and then as an opportunity to approve that. So yeah, calendar is another one of those items on for tonight. Along with that, we get to have our usual dose of policy review. That's always exciting stuff, but necessary. That's obviously part of the board's function.
So they will be active, they'll be busy, and they'll be motivated because I know all of them would like to get home and get done in time for volleyball, but there is a little conflict with that.
Yeah, 5:30 start for the board meeting and a 6 o'clock start for the volleyball game tonight. I doubt if we get done in half an hour.
Probably won't hear this, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get done before it's over.
Well, and here's hoping that it's the ending. You kind of go, okay, let's go ahead and celebrate that. So,
absolutely.
Well, it sounds like the work continues, but being willing to take a good hard look, not everybody's willing to do that. So kudos.
Yeah, it's we've spent a lot of time in the last month or so really digging into the budget situation and trying to identify where we've made a target of $5 million in cuts for next year, and I think we're at a point where we feel like we've got a plan just about ready. We're going to share an overview of that with the board tonight, and then really probably if everything continues on the path that we're on right now, ask the board to approve those cuts at our January meeting.
We'll find out. Matt Fisher, Superintendent, Grand Island Public Schools. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian.
Good morning from AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM.